welcome to Giant James' Kitchen. As you can see, I am not James, but I am also a giant. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you guys how to cook a steak in Western style. Okay, should I show them what they're doing? Okay, so here I have all the ingredients. We've got some nice asparagus stalks over here, garlic, potatoes that I've scrubbed already. Make sure you scrub your potatoes, otherwise you get all that dirty mud and stuff on it. We've got a strip loin steak over here from the US, some butter, it doesn't matter what brand, you can use whatever, black pepper, sea salt, our herbs are here, so we've got some nice rosemary, some thyme, dried rosemary because that's not enough rosemary, olive oil, but actually usually for this recipe you can also use grapeseed oil, any kind of ground nut oil are good because they have a high smoking point, so they can get hotter without burning. We have milk here, which might seem quite incongruous, but it's for the mashed potatoes that we're going to be making later. All of this paired with delicious Oldfields apple cider, which is great to have with this meal, I think. Anyway, okay, so yeah, one thing about the steak though, make sure that you take the steak out of the fridge at least half an hour before you cook it, because otherwise it will cook unevenly because it will be too cold in the center. Okay, so let's get started. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut open frozen steak just like this. Excuse my nails, they are not done. And you can see this water, don't be afraid of it, it's not blood, it's just water coming from the steak that's been pigmented with the color of the steak, so don't be squeamish about it. So we've got the steak here, and so what we're going to do is you're going to season it. Don't season it too far in advance because the salt will absorb into the steak and it will end up dry. Okay, so we're going to use a lot of salt. Don't be afraid of the salt, just grab, whenever a chef says a pinch of salt, they mean as much as you can get between your fingers. So we're going to rub in the lovely sea salt we have here. I like to use a more coarse type of salt because it tenderizes the meat as you rub it on like this. Okay, so we're going to season that side. Going to season this side. Just get it over here. Don't be afraid to get your hands messy. It's the best tool you have in cooking is your hands. Okay, right, so we've got our steak here, got our asparagus spears, which we're going to worry about in a bit. I'm first going to slice the potatoes up. When you're boiling for mashed potatoes, make sure that the potatoes are not just all in one lump. I like to do mashed potatoes with the skin on, but that's up to you. You can make them skin on, skin off, doesn't matter. But I like to add that extra texture to the potatoes. And I'm going to get this water boiling. Okay, when cooking potatoes or any kind of vegetables actually, make sure that the water tastes like the sea. That's how salty it should be, right? Okay, yeah, so it must taste just like the sea. So you can dip a finger in, that's hot, very salty, which is good. Really brings out the flavor of the potatoes. I'm going to wait for that to boil, and I'm going to start heating up my oil in here. Okay, so heat it up, heat it up, heat it up. Okay, so you want to make the pan get as hot as possible so you can get that nice crust on the top of the steak. Many people in Hong Kong like to eat steak quite well done. I prefer it to be what they call blue, which means completely raw on the inside and very hot on the outside. But I'll teach you guys in a second how you can adjust your cooking styles, okay? So let me just cut the asparagus in half. The reason I cut the asparagus in half is, you'll see, these bits cook a lot faster than these bits. So, gotta watch out for that. Okay, that's boiling. Oh, this is hot. How I like to test if a pan is hot is I like to get some water on my hand, like this, and it's got to do that. Okay, that's when you know it's hot enough. Then what you're going to do is you're going to gently lay the steak in there and just let it sit for about 1.5 minutes. This is quite a thin steak, so about 1.5 minutes. And I'm going to put on top some of this rosemary, right? Just going to sit it there. And some of this delicious smelling thyme, I'm going to put it there. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to get a smashed clove of garlic. That's for later. So you're going to peel the garlic. I'm going to turn this up a bit to get that crust on. Okay, and this should be going, come on, boil, boil. Waiting, 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 waiting. Okay. So about 2.5 minutes, but or at least until you can see that it's got a crust on it. That's still not. Okay, you might want to press into it so you can make sure the herbs really infuse into the meat, giving it more flavor. Okay, let me just open up the butter here. Some people like to make steak without the butter, so it's healthier, but I think if you're going to eat steak, it's already unhealthy, so you might as well make it really unhealthy. So that's just what I think, but you guys don't need to add the butter. You'll see what I do with it in a second. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the steak. Oh, that's not a very good stir. Here, hold on 1 second. Oh no. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip the steak and I'm going to get the herbs out from underneath it. Okay, just like that. And if it's curling up at the sides, you know you're doing it right. Okay. Hotter, hotter, hotter. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to put the potatoes in here. I'm just going to cover the pot with a pan lid. I don't know where that's gone. Pan lid. Oh, well, whatever. Just leave it there. Hotter. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the butter. I'm going to get a spoonful of it like this. Going to get quite a lot. Oh, this butter is hard. Okay, that's how much butter I like to put in my steak. Some people don't like to put that much, but it's just me. Okay, and I like to put it on top of the steak, right? Just there. And we're going to break it up. We're going to let it melt a little bit, okay? So it really gets the steak flavor on there. Turn it up. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Okay, so we're going to let the steak and the garlic, you can see here something else is going on separately to the steak over there. We're just going to get the butter infusing with the garlic and the herbs and all that good flavor. Then what we're going to start doing is something called basting. So we're going to get the butter, we're going to put it on top of the steak. So the steak juices are running down into the butter. The other good thing about the butter is that it's your base for a sauce for your steak later. Okay. This is not hot enough. Okay, so a good way to test whether your steak is medium rare or well done or whatever is you put your fingers like this and you test. So that is medium rare. This is medium, and this is well done. Okay, so that's how you can test. Feeling your thumbs, okay? You can see here the blood is coming out, okay? I'm gonna flip it again, okay. So the thyme is all burnt at the top. I'm gonna get, and you can see now the butter is taking on some of the flavor from the steak. Okay, and this is not staying hot. It must boil. Okay, you must, the one thing you also have to make sure of is that your butter, your garlic doesn't burn. It will ruin the entire dish. Burnt garlic is the worst taste in the world. Okay, so keep doing that. Just spin it one more time. Okay, so you can see it's finally coming to take on some of that color, and this is not keeping boiling. Usually on a normal stove, this will be boiling, boiling, boiling. This is not working. Okay, and this is not keeping hot. Okay, I'm going to baste a few more times just to get that really, really nice meaty flavor. Lock that in. Is that going to work? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think the steak is about done. So we're going to transfer that over here. Once you cook a steak, you have to let it rest. Otherwise, if it doesn't rest, you're going to cut it and all the juices are going to come out immediately. So what we're going to do now is going to work on a little sauce. I'm going to take out the herbs and I'm going to add black pepper. Okay, so we're just going to let that reduce a little bit over here. So we're going to just simmer it so it gets into sauce-like consistency. Oh, that's burning. Okay. Now I'm just going to wait for the potatoes to properly boil. The way to check if your potatoes are done is, well, they're not done at all, these ones, but you stick a fork in them and if they slide off the fork, then they're ready. But these are not going to be ready for another 100 minutes because the stove will not stay hot. I feel like I'm a dragon breathing fire. Anyway, back to the delicious cider. Yeah, I like this one. I actually chose this one especially to promote because I don't really like beer, but I find this is a really good alternative to beer. If you're at like a barbecue and everybody else is drinking beers and you don't want to be like, where's the vodka or the wine at? These are good, they're easy to transport, you know, in a bottle. You don't have to buy a huge one. And they're on sale on our MIHK.TV store. So you can buy them there, you can order them, they'll be delivered. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's check on my potatoes. Okay, well, anyway, you make sure that the water is really salty. Okay, so just, it's got to taste like salt water. So what we've got going on here, to recap, we've got our steak made. It's a little bit not brown, but whatever. I usually use a gas burner. It's better for steak because you can get the pan really, really hot. Unfortunately, on electric stoves, you can't actually get it that hot. So anyways, I'm just checking on my potatoes to see if they're sliding off the fork, but they're not yet. This is the water boiling, so we're gonna put the asparagus in, okay? Again, you gotta make sure it's called a rolling boil. So when you see the bubbles doing this, that means that that's ready to put your vegetables in. This is a technique called blanching vegetables. So what we do is when the water is at a rolling boil, we're gonna put them in, and as soon as they turn bright green, we're gonna take them out, okay? So I'm gonna do the stalks first, and then I'm gonna do the spears. These are called spears, by the way, okay? So, and then I'm gonna finish working on the sauce. Okay, so we're almost there, see that? That is not ready yet, but once the bubbles get big and they're rolling, we chuck them in, okay? So I'm gonna get ready with these. Ready, steady, go. Okay, so we're gonna put them in like that. Okay, now you can see that it stopped boiling, but don't worry. Okay, just gonna make sure that they're boiling nicely until they turn the bright, shiny green. Okay. Let me see how my potatoes are doing. Doesn't really matter if you overcook the potatoes because you're gonna mash them anyway. Okay, so my smaller pieces are doing nicely, but maybe this big one is no need because it's big annoying. Okay, so the small ones you can see now, they're almost ready. Go away. Okay, so my asparagus is coming up nice and green. You can see the color there. Not quite ready yet. If they're not ready yet, they tend to taste stringy and they're not very good. Okay, so maybe turn this down a little bit so we can see the color. Okay, you can see that color? That's nearly where you want to at. I prefer my vegetables barely cooked, but other people don't like the salad taste to the vegetables. But my steak resting here, we don't usually let it rest for this long, but because we only have 2 burners, you can't do everything at the same time. So, our asparagus seems to be just about ready. Yeah, let me see. Good taste. I'm gonna get the big one. It's all experiments. I don't have a recipe here. I'm just sort of going with the flow. Ooh, spicy. Not spicy. It's hot. What's wrong with me today? Okay. Perfect. Really good. Okay, now I need a strainer. This is DIY style. And they all fell into the sink. The end. Okay, so for the spears, we're going to do very much the same thing, just a slightly slower cooking time. So water. Okay, stove on. Stove on. 1, 5. Okay, and again, bunch of table salt. As you can see, I'm very healthy with my recipes. I put salt in everything. Okay. Now, for the potatoes, keep them in the pan. We're going to turn off this burner, and we're going to add a little bit of butter. Nothing's going right today. I don't like to put a lot of butter in my mashed potatoes because I add milk instead of so much butter. So it's the one thing I don't add. Okay, so I'm just going to put in, you add a little, I'm just checking the milk is okay, a little bit of milk each time, and you'll start smashing them up. I don't have a potato masher, so this is going to have to do. Might have to ask Andrew to come in and help me smash these. I'm weak. I don't go to the gym. This is why. It's too difficult. Okay, we're going to add salt. Salt, pepper. I like to put truffle paste in this, but truffle paste was not within the budget today. You can find like a truffle pate with olives. It's really nice to add to mashed potatoes. See, do I have a fork? Fork. Maybe try this. You can get one of these potato mashers. They're sort of like a thing with the things. Nah, I'm not explaining myself very well, am I? I might need some help to mash these. Can we cut to a shot when they're already mashed? Can you help me, Mike? No? Okay, anyway, so you mash them all up like this. Okay, while my water's boiling for my asparagus spears, I'm gonna mash these up. Mash. Smash. It's true. Oh, there we go. Turn it down slightly, wait for the rolling boil. Okay, so I like to do it's not really mashed potatoes, it's smashed potatoes. So you've still got chunks of it in there. But I'm gonna add some more milk so it's a little bit smoother. Okay. You can add as much milk as you like or as little milk as you like, do whatever you want. It's a free-ish country, so that's not for long. China's taking over. Okay, asparagus spears, into the sea. Okay, you can see they immediately turned a really nice green. These really don't need a lot of time because the bottom bits get stringy and these ones don't. Okay, let me try. Okay. Pas mal, as they say in French. I'm just gonna leave them like that. The best I can do. Oh, I had a fork here. Let's taste. The chef's best tool is his mouth. Maybe a minute more. Oldfield cider. Alright guys, this has been what I've made. You see the steak is here. I've got the asparagus, which is really good. It's the best thing. And my smashed potatoes. So we're going to make it look nice on a plate, and then we're going to show you guys that. Smashed potatoes. So I left the skins on this, that's why it doesn't look very delicious. That's a lot of potatoes, Jesus. It's a real man's meal, or a real Cassie's meal. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, there we go. episode of Giant James's Kitchen. I'm Cassie, not James, but also a giant. Today I taught you guys how to make steak and asparagus and what I like to call smashed potatoes with skins on, all to be enjoyed with a delicious Oldfield cider. This has been me. This has been stressful, but I love you guys. Mwah.
Hi guys, James here from Artisan Imports Hong Kong. How's everybody doing? It's summertime and we have an amazing summer promotion coming up for you guys. There's no excuse not to drink our amazing English beers and ciders, exclusively at MIHK.TV store. So what have we got for you today? Well, we've got an amazing gift pack, and with plenty of parties and events coming up over this summer, you do not want to arrive empty-handed. So for an amazing price of only 100 Hong Kong dollars, you can take 2 beers and a limited edition Hobson's glass here. Other than that, we have an amazing promotion on our cases of beer and cider. So what have we got for you? From $400 down to $360 for a case of 12 ciders, that's a saving of 40 Hong Kong dollars. And for the beers, we've lowered our price from $400 to only 330 Hong Kong dollars. That's a saving of 70 Hong Kong dollars. So there really is no excuse not to be drinking this summertime. So how about it, guys? Only at MIHK.TV store. Cheers!